Welcome to Garden Sanity. I'm Laura, and today I'm going to be planting 4 more of these tiny quick-fire hydrangeas. Now, recently I showed you how these looked in the beginning of the summer when they were all beautiful white, almost an ivory white color. There is a gallon-sized shrub that was planted last year, and then 2 pint-sized shrubs that I planted right next to it as an experiment, and they've almost caught up to the gallon, which is nice. I also have another one that I planted at the other end of this bed. It hasn't been doing that great, and so I'm going to actually move it over here, and then I'm going to add 4 more. So I'm actually going to make a tiny quick-fire hedge right in this garden bed, because with these 3 looking so beautiful, I'm always of the opinion that if something works and something wants to grow in a spot, then maybe you need to add more of it instead of trying to add something different. So I'm going to make a tiny quick-fire hedge, which is going to look so beautiful behind the Japanese hellery, the Kramer's red winter heath, and the blue star juniper. So let me show you what the pint size looks like. Let me show you some close-ups of how these look like right now, and let me get out of this ornamental maple that's hitting me in the back of the head, just so I could get this shot. All right, so here's what one of these little pint-sized shrubs look like. And you can see it's not very big. It's got a nice little pint. I ordered this again from my favorite place, Great Garden Plants, online. I got 4 of these, got them on sale because they always have great sales. Comes in the Proven Winners pot with the Proven Winners tag. And you can see it's a nice, healthy plant. It's got nice foliage, looks really good. Nice stems back here. This was the size that I planted last year. Like I said, I had a gallon size that Proven Winners sent to me to trial here in the garden, and I immediately liked it so much I bought 2, actually 3 more of these pint size. I planted 2 next to the gallon one, as I mentioned. I had initially planted one in another bed. That did not work out so well. I moved it over to this side here. That also seems to be, I don't know, a little bit too much sun, so we'll move that over. But this is what the pint size looks like. And then the other thing I want to show you, and I'm not trying to shill, but this was a birthday gift from my husband. And it has to be, again, he gets me the greatest garden gifts. He got me my favorite shovel. He's gotten me a garden kneeler bench. He got me a blower. He knows what to get me. And you may say, he got you a blower. So what? He got me a lightweight blower. That is so great. In fact, I think I mentioned it last year on my Christmas gift videos, but this guy is a RYOBI. So you can, it operates on battery. So you can take it in and out. It's interchangeable then with all your other items that you have. So if you have a blower, a weed whacker, all those kind of things, even a little saw, snaps it right in. It's got 3 settings. There's the small setting. It adjusts, it stays adjusted. And I gotta tell you, this is a must-have if you're gonna garden in the summertime when it's really crazy out, heat and humidity wise, this is what you want. So anyway, enough of that. I just wanted to tell you, you'll see me use this. I don't always use it. I use it when I'm gardening. I don't use it when I'm filming because it does make a little bit too much noise. So good for gardening, not for filming. So a few other things I've got my usual gardening gloves. I've got some bottled water. I've got a towel to wipe my face. And I have my snake tongue trowel. This always works great because it has a beautiful sharp tongue right there at the end. And so that's good for digging holes and getting through some roots as well if you need that. And of course, my garden kneeler bench if I need it. When I'm not using it, it holds all of this stuff. So there you go. Those are my supplies for today. So let me give you a close-up of how everything looks. This is the Lavender Phenomenal. A little bit past its prime, but the flowers still are standing tall, looking great. Then we have the Dusty Miller, and there are still a few flowers on that. And then you've got the beautiful, beautiful Tiny Quickfires. Let me show you the flowers close up. So the good thing is, since I'm planting, I can do the weeding at the same time. Always nice to do that in tandem. So here are the beautiful flowers. And when I showed you these last month, they were really mostly white. A little bit of a pale lime green to them. But now they're on their way to changing color. And supposedly, these change color and start to change color when temperatures get cooler. We haven't had cooler temperatures, so these are adapting very, very well. It's about 93 degrees right now, early in the morning. We already have super high humidity. It's probably about 787%. But look at the beautiful colors on these. I mean, just absolutely stunning. And the leaves all still look so healthy. Look at that. Oh, I see one little yellow leaf down there, but you know what? We'll forgive him. That's okay. Just keeping it real, because that does happen. It's not like I'm some expert hydrangea grower. But they look absolutely beautiful. Now, they will continue to change color and go well into the fall, is what I'm told. This is my first full season with them. I planted them last summer, but you know, when you first put any plant into the ground, the first year is always a little off, because the growers are on probably a little bit of a different schedule in the nurseries. They want these to look top-notch when they're selling them to you, so they might be blooming a little earlier, a little later, depending on how they're selling them. So this is really the first full season I can see how they look through the entire gardening season. So here we are in early August, and they are looking absolutely beautiful. So now you see why I want to add more and build a hedge, right? Not really building a hedge, I guess you plant a hedge. It's hot out, people. All right, let me get started planting, but I'll show you the other hydrangea real quick. So down from the Tiny Quickfires, I planted some lantana, and then this is the other Tiny Quickfire I planted. I transplanted it from the other bed. It had grown a little bit taller because it was reaching for the sun. It wasn't getting near as much sun, but you can see the leaves don't look that healthy on it. We've had extreme heat and we've had lots of rain. However, the other Tiny Quickfires down there are doing fantastic. So I'm going to move this guy over there. Maybe they get a little bit more shade from the ornamental maple. They do well in full sun or part sun. And I just think this guy needs to be out of this spot. And I think he will do much better being closer to his siblings. Now, I have the camera under the tree here because it gets super hot in the summer and I want to be able to film this and not have it shut off on me, which sometimes happens. So that is the reason you're getting the down on the ground angle that you're getting camera-wise. Luckily, this doesn't take long at all. And like I said, since I'm going to be digging more holes anyway. Now, right over here, you might be able to see, I have the remnants of some daffodils and I'm keeping them there so that I know where not to dig when I'm making my little hedge. So I laid out approximately where I want these to go. And what I'm seeing already is that next to the fan here, I think I need to move this lantana. So what I'm going to do is move this lantana into the hole that I just made by moving the taller Tiny Quickfire, and I sure hope that you can follow that. So I'm going to turn this on me and I'm going to dig this guy up. I'm kind of glad I don't have to fully give up the lantana in this spot because for some reason it just always does so great in this part of the bed. So there we go, and let's just move this over. Let's take this beautiful hole that's already made and make it a little bit bigger for one of these guys. That's nice. Biotone. Biotone is a really great starter fertilizer to use. Move this over a little bit. It's a really great starter fertilizer. It's granular. It's got all kinds of beneficial microbes. And so, it's a great way to get your plants off to a good start. That's all I ever put into the holes when I'm planting. All right. Good. This guy's in. Reuse a hole. Easy peasy. All right, let's get some biotone. Turn the fan a little bit. There we go. If you can see this, put some biotone in the hole. There's more weeds. I'll just put there for now. Yeah, these plants are in really good shape too, which is really nice. All right, I'm just gonna, that root, dig out. There we go. There we go. Okay, that's better. Little root to take out. All right, that's good. Mulch around it a little bit. So why am I planting when it's so hot out? It's not really an ideal time at all. Well, you can plant technically in the summer. It's not a big deal. However, what you need to make sure of, especially with hydrangeas, and in this case Panicle hydrangeas, is you want to make sure that they get enough water. That is the main concern with planting anything in the summertime, but especially hydrangeas. They like a lot of water, and so what they're really going to want is they're going to want a lot of water, a little bit of TLC. You don't want to get them stressed as they're getting established in the ground. And so that's the main reason people get discouraged, or I should say people are discouraged from planting. Because a lot of times you aren't going to be able to water as much as the plants need. If you're new to that plant, if that plant is new to you, you may not know how much water it needs. You may go on vacation and have somebody take care of the plants, and they're not going to know the right thing to do. So that's why, for the most part, people will plant in the spring, and the fall is fast becoming the second most popular time to plant, because with the way everything stays so hot in the summer, it's kind of nice in the fall to plant some things that can get established before things go dormant, before the winter sets in, and then next spring, we're all set. All right, so you can't really see this, but what I'm doing is I'm taking my pruners and I am clipping out the roots that are in my way. It's probably roots from the blue star juniper, and I'm not worried about it. I've done this for years. If you bump into roots and you clip them out, it's not really going to harm the plant. I'm not clipping all the roots, obviously, but these ones I can clip so I can actually plant something here. Let's see. Wow, that is a big root. Let's figure this one out. Yay. Good job. Oh yeah, there we go. Wow. So, look at that. I hope you can see that. That is a big root. And yeah, I think that came from the blue star juniper. I am thrilled that it's not daffodil bulbs. If I don't sound as thrilled as I'm telling you I am, it's because I'm hot. I'm thrilled. It's just roots. Woo! This sort of wilted looking lantana, that's the one that I just planted where there was the tiny quickfire that was reaching up to the sky. So I had just moved that over from where it was. And then these are the 4 tiny quickfires that I just planted that you saw from under cover of tree in the shade. And then over there, let me get on the other side so I can show you. Okay, there was that end. Now we're on this side, and I put the tall one right there. Now, I do want to cut it back a little bit, but I'm going to leave it for now and just not touch it. It's going to be under stress enough, having just been transplanted again, a second time in one season. So we'll just leave that be. So the tiny quickfire on the left that has no flowers, and then the larger gallon size, I keep calling it that, but just because it's the larger one of all of these, that's on the right. So that's about 2 feet apart, the spacing there. And what's also nice is behind all of these is a beautiful Hinoki cypress that looks beautiful year-round and will provide some nice evergreen when these go dormant. And of course the lavender will be ever gray. It'll be, see this color down here? It'll be that color. A little bit duller, gets a little more grayer in the winter time. So the makings of a hedge that you see right here with the 3 tiny quickfires that are in bloom, and then you've got 1 behind it now, and then 4 more. That is going to be beautiful. If you can just picture those flowers that you see there, which is just 1 year after planting. So next summer, it's going to be nice and full, and it's going to look beautiful. I'm really thrilled with it because every year I've always planted, you know, plants over there, and then I put some lantana over here, and it's kind of like, what am I doing in the middle? So now I figured it out, a beautiful hedge. And then I also still have to tackle a little bit of these Tempo Rose Geums. They got definitely fried with all the excessive heat we've had. They're in full sun, so they don't get the benefit of any kind of shade in the afternoon. Maybe late afternoon they get a little bit of shade. But I'm just leaving them for now because the new leaves that you can see on some of these, let me just show you, pardon me for the camera shaking a little bit with my hand, but you see these new leaves? You see how nice these are? So these all look great. So once the weather kind of calms down a little bit, cools off a little bit, I will come in and I'll tidy these up. But right now I don't really mind it too much because everything's struggling just a little bit. Except for the Kramer's Red Winter Heath, which looks absolutely gorgeous. Do you see all these, hold on, let me zoom in. Do you see all these beautiful bright green? They look like they're part of the shrub, like that they're needles. Those are all flower buds. It's only August, but they're starting already because their show starts in December. It's just absolutely beautiful. So there we go. In the 90-some degree heat with crazy humidity, I got 4 tiny quickfires in the ground, transplanted a 5th, and being that we're going to get a lot of rain as the week goes on, that's also perfect because now they can settle in, Mother Nature can water them, and we'll be good for a while until the next project. So thank you to those of you that suggested I plant more tiny quickfire. I really appreciate it. I took your advice, and I'm glad I did. So in conclusion, tiny quickfire, I love this little tiny shrub. Until next time, happy gardening.